whatever you're going to do to be successful, especially in the creative world, study, be a student, stay a student. You got to want it. You got to work harder than the next man. You have to have a vision, and you never let yourself or your partners down. But when you grew up with 10 kids in your house and he was teaching us the mindset of a dreamer and how to be wealthy and how to pursue your dreams, be a businessman and create your own destiny, is even as you're following these big, giant footprints, I try to be my own trailblazer as well. I look forward to the blank canvas because I already know how I'm going to fill that.
Is there any way you can teach that?
No, it's the way God made me. My story is different. Not many people grew up in a house with 4 or 5 legends that you got to watch the process over and over again. If you watch a movie, you're going to see that movie differently than I see a movie. If I see a horror movie, I'm going, oh, you know what's funny about this? You're going to be scared. I'm looking for where the laughs are.
That's right.
It's just the way we see the world. Where everybody sees pain and horror, we go, there's jokes. I think America and the world we need more laughter. People in the industry you go into, there's always the devil be lurking. And you have to always speak to the God in you and be like, nah, I ain't going there. It's not worth it for me. If your industry don't work for me, I'm gonna become my own industry the way I do it. I'm not selling out. That's right.
I love it, man. Our guest tonight is more than just a comedian. He's a cultural icon and a powerhouse in Hollywood. He co-created and starred in Scary Movie franchise with his brother Damon recently. And by the way, they received an award earlier this year, the NAACP award, that their Scary Movie franchise grossed over $1 billion worldwide, making one of the most successful comedy franchises of all time. By the way, any Scary Movie fans? You see Scary Movie? Okay. You've seen it in classes like White Chicks? Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. The Wayans sitcom that ran for 5 successful seasons. He's a writer, a producer, actor, and stand-up comic who's toured the world and built a brand that's influenced generations of entertainers. Currently starring in a brand new film, Him. And tonight, he's with us here in Dallas as part of his comedy show. So Frisco, Texas, Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey. Please stand to your feet and make some noise for Marlon Wayans.
Single dad, clawing back from bankruptcy. Wick in the fridge, but a dream still burned in me. Sat in child support court with custody, yeah. Read that twice, I had the kids, but still pay the fees. For a minute, I played the victim.
Howdy, Texas.
Oh, we got some old fashions. Thank you, Bree.
Let's get it.
Appreciate that. I promise you this is just for proper not drinking it. Yeah, we will. Okay. So, there you go. We got some water too as well.
That's the actor in me. I have to use my props and make sure they're all safe.
Field tested it, right?
Yeah.
Very good. By the way, we were just talking about delays at the DFW airport. I'm glad you were able to bypass one of them. Get here.
Yeah, it was a lot of delays. My flight was delayed like 3.5 hours.
Goodness gracious.
I just used it because I'm casting Scary Movie 6 right now, so I just went through a bunch of casting tapes. Really? And then I took a nap because I had I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I get her once a week. So I'm co-parenting, and man, I know y'all like he a little old making children. It still works. What can I say? And I just look at it like I made my own grandchild. That's all. And but she's a lot of energy, and I have this bed, the 8-sleep bed, because it really helps you sleep and it tracks your sleeping.
Really?
Yeah. So I put her down about 10 o'clock, and because she will not go down. And then I slept like 2 hours before I had to catch my flight. I looked at my app today, and you'd be happy to know that Axel scored 88% and slept 10.5 hours.
Nice.
So her sleep was wonderful. Mine was terrible.
Yeah, my son last night kicked me in the middle of his sleep, and I'm like 4 o'clock in the morning. Any parents here? Your kids still sleeping in bed with you? Yeah, okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Marlon, storied family. We've got your fam behind us here. Well, amazing Wayans royalty here. But you're in New York, though. You're in New York.
Born and raised.
Born and raised in New York, and then you went to L.A. Any living color generation here? You guys know what I'm talking about? Any living color? So I'm curious, with 10 siblings, Dwayne, Keenan, Deidre, Damon, Kim, Elvira, Nadia, Vani, Sean, of course, you. Am I missing anything?
I don't know. I would have forgot 3 of those that you just mentioned. I was like, we got a Nadia? Who? No, Keenan, Dwayne, Keenan, Deidre, Kim? You didn't say Kim?
Yeah, you said Kim.
All right, Kim, Chamberlain, Devon, Nadia, Elvira, Sean, Marlon. Yep, that's all. I mean, we count Craig. He's my sister had a baby when she was 15, and my mother was like, that's my baby. And so Craig's kind of like my little brother, but my nephew.
I'm curious, what is that conversation like at home? You guys are creative. I mean, when you accepted the NAACP award earlier this year, you really talked about your brother. You and your brother Damon just really gave some love to Keenan.
Yeah.
And what you did. Can you share everybody that story about what he did when he saw Richard Pryor and Mama said, "There's that skinny boy on TV again"?
Yeah, my brother used to watch Richard Pryor. Listen to his album religiously, and then whenever there's an opportunity, he'd watch him on TV. And every time Richard was on TV, my mama would tell Keenan, that little skinny boy's on TV. And Keenan would go watch him. And then it's funny, one day I got older, and I used to want to be like a comedian and a writer and a producer, whatever, but I used to want to be on TV. And one day is 1980, my brother was on Johnny Carson, and me and my family watched my brother on Johnny Carson gathered around this black and white TV, and a nuclear bomb went off on all of our heads. Like, wow. Now Keenan is the skinny boy on TV. And he went out to California and made it happen. And he wasn't supported at first. My parents wasn't supportive. My mother, that's a pipe dream. You want to be a comedian. Boy, I known you your whole life. You ain't never said nothing funny. You want to be a comedian. That's the funniest thing you ever said. Ha, 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 ki. And my brother said, this is what I want to do. I have a dream. I'm going to do it. She said, boy, you better go get you a good job, one with some benefits. Go back to school and get your engineer's degree. Because Keenan left Tuskegee University after, 3.5 years.
Wow.
He's right there. That's the conversation that my mother had with him. And she was like, you better go get your engineering degree. You could get a job with benefits. You want to smile like your father's? He looked like a black-o'-lantern. And she cursed him out. And she was like, and then Keenan was like, I'm following my dreams. He said, you ain't going to be Fast forward to 20 years later.
Come on.
In living color. And here's what's dope about Keenan. He bought my mama a house. He bought my mama a car. He bought my mama furs. He bought my mama jewelry. And not one time did he ever go, I told you so. He's a better man than me. And I've been like, in your face.
I love it. How about you? How many people here at your family told you to get a job? Such your dreams down too as well. So there a lot of folks are resonating with you right now. So you go see your brother in LA. You think he's rich, but he's not. He's in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes. I thought he was rich as hell. But when you grow up with 10 kids in your house, I don't care if you're rich, you still poor. 10 kids, that's a lot of mouths to feed. And my brother just being on his own, he was in his own 2-bedroom. That was a lot richer than he was in my house. So yeah, man, we thought he was rich, and he was always so generous, and always had some nugget of advice to tell us. And he knew how we grew up and where we grew up, and he was teaching us the mindset of a dreamer and how to be wealthy and how to pursue your dreams, be a businessman, and create your own destiny. And don't be an actor. You're more than an actor. You have to be an undeniable force of nature in order to make it in any industry. So that's what he taught us to be. And that's why I go as hard as I go right now. 7 days a week I work. I just work. I just love what I do. I got 9 shows, I think, this weekend in Addison. So
right. You're at the Laugh Factory. Oh, I'm sorry. In Addison. Improv. Excuse me.
I was like, they changed the name?
Yeah. My bad.
Addison Improv.
You guys know the Addison Improv right there on Beltline. Yep. Awesome. So he's going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, light
And Sunday.
and Sunday too as well.
Yeah, I got 3 shows. I just added a show on Sunday. So I got 3 shows Sunday, 3 shows Saturday, 2 shows Friday, and 1 show tomorrow.
I love it. Love it.
Let's get it in. Let's go.
Putting some work in. Hey, make some noise of that. Hustle. He's hustling in. Let's go. Much success to you in here in Dallas.
Thank you.
When you are having this conversation with your family, because it's like we were having, Rudy and I were discussing, it only takes one person in a family's bloodline to make a decision to change that family's bloodline forever. Yep. And we saw your brother do that, but it's also for you to follow it because you could have been just as skeptical too as well. What made you follow your brother's example?
Because it was something that I passionately wanted to pursue. I was in plays since I was 4 years old. You know, I've done everything from Peter Pan to, Casey at the Bat. I've done Shakespeare. I went all throughout school. I wanted to be an actor, and it just so happens that my brother was dreaming to do that as well. And so once he did and showed us that we can actually be successful and you can make your dreams come true, I think it was natural progression for all of us to follow. But what I've learned is even as you're following these big giant footprints, I try to be my own trailblazer as well. You follow up into a point and then you go, wait, I see something different. And then you take a different path. And my brother always goes, why are you taking that path? And I go, well, you took this path and you got us here. I said, he goes, yeah, but if I tell you, if you go out in the rain and it's raining outside, take an umbrella. And I told him, I said, well, maybe I want to dodge raindrops. And he said, that don't make no goddamn sense. But what I'm trying to tell him is I want to learn a different path because I got your kids, my kids, and that next generation following me. So they didn't get to see you do it. They're watching me do it. So I'm you. And if I'm going to get us to the next level, because I'm trying to build us industry, right? And we was great farmers and agriculturalists. That's what we did with Keenan. And we started industry. My whole thing is industry, education, philanthropy. I want to bring it all full circle. So that's my
nieces and nephews do you have right now?
You don't think I barely know how many brothers and sisters I got. Hey. I would say now my mother would have been a grandma of about 52 grandchildren.
Okay. So of the 50, how are you guys transferring?
That's why she died. She was like, I ain't dealing with this Christmas.
Hell, Marlon. She lived a full life.
Yeah, she did.
So how are you taking from your generation and imparting? Is there any one of the 50 or so grandkids, your nieces and nephews that you're excited about that's taking this next mantle, the next wave of
all
Wayans?
of them? All of them. I mean, I'm starting with, so little Keenan's son is a writer and he's learning to write and produce. My son, Sean, is going to be a director and a writer, and he's writing movies right now, working on shorts and doing music videos with his cousin Ilea, who is Sean's daughter, and she's going to be a director as well. And she went to NYU for film. My son went to LMU for film studies. My other child, Kai, is a writer, graduated USC for honors in creative writing. My niece, Layla, is in a band, and she produces music. And so she's going to be doing a lot of music. My nephew, Dwayne, it's crazy. I literally have, I would say about 25 of us that are
entertainment.
Entertainment. Yeah.
In business, we follow formulas and patterns that allows us to have some form of predictable success. Is there a formula or pattern that the Wayans family follows to impart that type of knowledge to create a successful film, to create a successful sketch, to create a successful, movie, script, etc.? Would you find something amongst your family that would have a common denominator that this is the formula for success?
I think the formula for success is hard work, preparation, meets opportunity, or you create the opportunity. And if you're ready, you will be successful. And if you really understand success, that in failure, that's just a part of success. You can't be afraid to fail. But I think it's the overall formula. Like my kids, my son's like, I don't want to do comedy. I said, I don't want you to do comedy. He likes horror. I said, bet. So study every horror movie the way I study every comedy. So study it. That's hard work. So whatever you're going to do to be successful, especially in the creative world, study, be a student, stay a student. You got to want it. You got to work harder than the next man. You got to be tireless. You have to have a vision, and you never let yourself or your partners down. And I think those are the matrix of success, and you could apply that to anything.
When you're studying film, when you're studying a subject matter, is there something that jumps off the film? There's something that jumps off the screen and say, "Oh, I got to write that down." Is there a pattern of starting off the movie with a bang or the hook?
It all develops differently, right? So I mean, look, if you watch a movie, you're gonna see that movie differently than I see a movie. If I see a horror movie, I'm going, "Oh, you know what's funny about this? You're gonna be scared." I'm looking for where the laughs are.
That's right.
That's all I watch movies for. And then I go, what characters, if I flip the characters in here, how would I flip that? Oh, there's a cop doing an investigation. So how would I flip that? That's like when we did Scary Movie. We took Scream and we applied funny to a scary movie. Yeah. And we got Scream. We took the Hood movies. What's the name of that movie? Poetic Justice. What's the other one?
Juice.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
And Menace to South Central. And those were some serious dramas. And our sick ass was like, what's funny about these movies? And we created Don't Be a Menace, which was, a parody of all the Hood movies. It's just the way we see the world. Where everybody sees pain and horror, we go, there's jokes.
If I'm a fly on the wall and just hearing you and your family members find out what's funny in a movie or what's scary in a movie, what's that dialogue like?
Everybody got their own take. Everybody thinks their joke is funnier than the next person's, that's for sure. So you pitch something, Sean's like, no, that's stupid. Then 5 minutes later, he pitched something, I'm like, no, that's stupid. So we just hating on each other. But what happens is you wind up getting the best material. We collect jokes, right? For every project we do, I could probably put together a joke Bible. I probably have put together more pages of jokes written than pages that's in the script. We usually write 3 scripts just to get 1 script. And that's why we don't make movies. We normally make classics. And a classic is, basically for generations, your movie will hit. So 3 generations now with Don't Be a Menace, people still love it. White Chicks, 3 generations, people still like, yo, that movie's great. I'm gonna Get You Suckers, 4 generations. Right. We just hold up over time. Wayans Brothers, Wife and Kids, and Living Color, everything we do, it holds up because we put that quality, that care, and that hard work ethic into it. Yeah. We want people to laugh forever. And when we're gone, just know that we're living up there every time y'all laugh.
Said. Could in a Living Color remix be in America today?
Absolutely. I think America and the world we need more laughter. Everybody's too damn sensitive. And y'all know what? It's not the people that's sensitive. It's what the media and the social media is feeding the people. The people are thirsty for laughter. Sure. That's why I do stand up every weekend. I say some of the craziest stuff. And people laugh because people still want to laugh, but they've been programmed, we're all sheep, that this social media sends this narrative to the media that, hey, we can't say that. Those are bots from other countries. Those aren't even real people behind most of the things. Those are other countries or other agendas trying to program our media and program our executives and program our people. And at a point, you got to go, no. We are here to laugh. Enjoy each other with laughter. You break all the barriers. And we are equal opportunity offenders. We have made fun of everybody and everything, and that brings us closer together. And, that's why we're doing Scary Movie 6, because we feel like the world needs to laugh again.
So of that makes the noise. Absolutely.
I'm going to try this prop out now.
That's it. Marlon, who would you recreate from Living Color? Your brother, when Damon did the jailhouse brother.
Well,
yeah. Well, he did that jailhouse character. My colon allows my circumcision.
No. Let me pull forward my foreskin. That was actually a character that me and my brother, me and Sean, when Keenan and Damon came home from California, me and Sean was always doing like an audition. So we knew they were out in California so we would come with funny sketches and funny characters. And my sister was dating this dude, Aswad Bates. That was his name, Aswad. And that was his Muslim name. And he was self-read. And he taught himself how to read in prison. And so he came to our house and he had this loose eye. And he was throwing about all these words about, don't let me be that biodegradable for a second. If the schmegma, and my brothers was laughing. And I remember Damon one day, I was like 7 years old when I was doing this impression, 7 or 8. Damon was like, we had bunk beds, and Damon sat me on the bed. He came home. He said, listen, hey, ugly. You know that character, Oswald Bates? I want to start doing that on stage. He said, look, by the time I come along, but you get famous, ain't nobody going to know who the hell Oswald Bates is. So I'm going to do it. Is that okay? I said, yeah, but it's mine. He goes, let me repeat that with $20 in my hand.
You bought it your contract.
$20 was gone, and Oswald Bates was born. And but it's okay. You know what you learn as a young writer or as a writer. I like tagging people's jokes. I like to give things away. I think that's when you become a great artist. You know what I mean? I think Michael Jordan became a better basketball player when he started sharing the rock.
That's right.
So he was like, oh, I see the play this way. I know they're going to come to me, but no, I want him to get off in that way because that's, you know what I'm saying? We like other people to get off. You watch all of our movies, you watch In Living Color, we like to make stars. We like to make everybody around us funny. So this way, everywhere you go on a Wayans movie, this is going to be funny.
That's right. When we interviewed Kobe, he says the first question I asked Michael is how he does his turnaround.
Yeah.
And Michael said, I feel it with my legs.
Yeah.
And then he started doing it.
He did. He did. And then Draymond Green took it to the next level. I'm just going to kick him in the ding-ding. I'm feeling them with my legs.
But also when you give things away, it also forces you to improve.
Yes. You have to come with the new trick. That you can't be afraid, right? That's what I always look at Michael Jordan as, to me, the epitome of a man that continued to be a student in order to become, I think, an all-around GOAT. Yeah. He just kept getting better. He kept learning. Yeah. Just when he started out, he was dunking the ball. You was like, wow, that's powerful. I don't want no parts of that. Then they was like, okay, he's always going to go right. So he learned to shoot with the left. And then he would come with the right and then switch with the left. And then he came with that fadeaway jump shot when they started double teaming him. And then they started triple teaming him, so he passed the ball. And then after that, they was like, okay, we're just not going to let him inside the perimeter. So he started shooting 8 3-pointers in one game. He became an unstoppable force of nature, and that's the way I look at my career. I just want to keep getting better. Just when you think you've seen it all, you ain't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen nothing. My best years are ahead of me.
Yeah, your best is yet to come, big dog. 100%. Real brief question on that in terms of LA Lakers. In your opinion, has LeBron passed up Michael Jordan as the GOAT?
No. I think individual stats, I think LeBron is one of the greatest individual player that's ever played the game. But if you look at the stats of why you're the GOAT, if it wasn't for Jordan, there couldn't be LeBron. There couldn't be a Kobe. Jordan was the blueprint. And every time he got to the dance, he came home with a ring. There's a fire and a will in that man that is just thirsty and like, you give me the ball, I'm dunking on your face. And Jordan was that dude. And every time, and when that one year he that Shaq and them took him out early, when he came back winning 4-5, he was like, all right, I'll see y'all next year. And he saw him next year and he whooped their ass. I'm telling you, Michael Jordan to me is the GOAT. And I think Bron is Kobe, Jordan, and then Kobe and LeBron fight it out for me. But those are my 3 greats.
Amen. All right. Hey, Jordan's the GOAT to me. Who agrees? Jordan or LeBron? Jordan?
Well, we a bunch of old heads. She was like, LeBron. My son be telling me about LeBron, and I'm like, because you saw him play. If you watch Jordan play, you watch the excitement, whether you loved him or hated him. He was a monster. He was so fun to watch. And I'm not gonna hate on LeBron. I think LeBron is a fantastic player. He's one of the greatest. Look at his stats. He damn near averaged a triple-double his whole career. But you know another reason why Jordan would be great? Because Jordan got us to drink Gatorade, and that's some nasty shit. Gatorade tastes like some white person trying to make Kool-Aid with salt water. Jordan is that dude.
So you're on tour now, Marlon, and I've always studied comics by how they set up a joke, how they give a premise, and how they deliver a joke, and you can tell the different styles, you know, of different ethnicities, where people grew up, male, female, and you can just see how they write a joke through your creative process of you writing your comedy, your scripts. When we interviewed Kevin Hart, he said it takes me a year and a half to come up with a script for my tour. A year and a half writing it down, blah, blah, blah. What is your process of writing jokes? Because there's entrepreneurs here that are also writing scripts for the business. They're writing scripts for their presentation. They're writing scripts for their raising capital, et cetera. So what is your process as a comic to prepare that?
I have a weird process. You know, I'm a different kind of artist than Kevin because I've been writing and producing movies since I was 19 years old. Like, so I am a writer. There's a writer that lives in my head that's writing for the comedian. And I don't write my stuff down. I go on stage and I have a premise and I just work it out. And there's a writer in my head going, say this, say that, say this. And I do this, right? So I don't need a year and a half. I write my stuff on a stage really in like a month and a half. And then I continue to write in the process for the next year, but I continue and change things and flip things. And by, for me, the end of 4 or 5 months, I want to shoot a special because I don't want to tour with the same material and over because I got a lot to say, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy that runs out of material. I do a special, and the day I film the special, the next week, I go do a brand new hour, none of the stuff that I did in the special, because I've been thinking about this next hour for the whole time that I was creating this. I'm crazy. So for me, I'm literally a crazy man. I look forward to the blank canvas because I already know how I'm gonna feel that.
Is there any way you can teach that?
No, it's the way God made me. My story is different. Not many people grew up in a house with 4 or 5 legends that you got to watch the process over and over again. Not a lot of people been fortunate enough to go to performing arts high school and then go to college for 2 years and then go to And Living Color, which was the greatest college, and work with greats like Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans and David Allen Greer. And not a lot of people have known Eddie Murphy since they were 8 years old. Not a lot of people have known John Witherspoon and Robert Townsend since they were 12 and they grew up on sets. I have a different story. I am different because my story is different. And not a lot of people have written and produced over 15, 20 movies before the age of 40 something years old. I'm just, and these are my best years because now I've been doing stand-up for 15 years. And those 15 years, I'm working on my 6th special. I know my 7th and 8th one, it's already in my head. And then I got dramatic talents. So now I got him coming out. Yep. And it's a great dramatic performance and a great movie. And I've been working myself to be something that the world has rarely saw, which is an all-around, well-diverse artist, writer, producer, and eventually director. I love it.
Yeah, and comedian. Let's do it. I love it, man. Outside of your family, outside of your brothers, who would you rank in your top 3, 4, 5 best influences? Comics, entertainers, actors. Who is the most influential to you?
Oh, Richard Pryor.
At the top?
At the top in terms of artistry.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's can ever mimic the success and the power of the laughters that Richard had when he did the Richard Pryor Live. That's the best hour and 40 minutes of stand-up I've ever seen in my life. It was.
I'll get a Google later.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Eddie Murphy, because he made comedy into rock. He was a rock star. He was bigger than comedy. He was a rock star. And Eddie hit at 19, and he still rocks. When Eddie wants to be funny, you know he could be funny. To be that at that level for that long, that's very hard to do. I love Dave Chappelle. I love his story. I like that he didn't feel good about what he was doing, and he went on a trip to Africa to go find himself because he felt like he was losing himself. And then to leave 50 million and come back and make 300 million, I think that, integrity is everything.
Yeah.
Integrity is everything. So applause to Dave Chappelle, Robin Williams, because he was just a dynamic performer. He could do, I like guys that could do it all, right? Like they could make you laugh and cry in the same sentence, that could do characters. Jim Carrey's the same way, that could do characters. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to do everything from action to comedy to romance to dark, gritty horror films. I played everything. I played 7 people in one movie in Sextuplets. I played a junkie in Requiem. I played a gangster in Don't Be a Menace. I played a white chick. I played a little person. Like, dude, I do it all because that's what I work myself to do. It's not an accident. It's come from the work that I put in, So
when you're with the song Scary, real quick, billion in the box office globally.
Yeah.
What did you find in that franchise? Was it finding a franchise that would work and then just duplicate 2, 3, 4, now 6? Was it raising capital? Was it finding investors? What goes all into creating a successful movie? Because it's one thing to create a great product, but it's another thing to market it, raise capital, and get it out there.
Well, okay, so that's a
not a question.
faceted question. I didn't know the drink for that one. Well, I think what we did was we applied the science to the small business. Don't be a menace and I'm gonna get you sucker with like a small business. And we learned on the small businesses, okay, this is the formula and this is the core audience for this. So when you talk about I'm gonna get you sucker, that's Black exploitation. Most of Black exploitation audience was Black people. When we did Don't Be a Menace, we applied that same formula. But when we did Scary Movie, we messed them up because we took this Wayans formula and these ingredients that we normally made for our core audience, and we made it for 4 quadrants when we did the same thing we did with the other movies, but we applied it to Scream, which was a movie that grossed like $200 million. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, that grossed like $200 million. So when we came out the gate, we were talking to an audience that was multi-quadrants, not just 1 or 2 quadrants. And we give
crossover.
Yes, crossover, Black, whites. We did that movie for $19 million, right? The movie made $300 and something million worldwide. We'd opened to $42.7 million on July 4th weekend. And people were in the aisles. And I remember that. And so now what we do, and I applied the same thing that I did with Scary Movie. Once they took the franchise from us, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this same application that I've been using and I'm gonna apply it to a haunted house. And I'm gonna do this movie for $1.5 million. And I'm gonna go get it financed because I'm gonna own 50% of this damn movie at least. And I'm gonna do this movie because I know how to do it. And I'm gonna cast these people and I'm gonna make sure that this movie hits. And it hit. We opened to $18 million on opening weekend. The movie went on to do $70 million. And now, that's a franchise that I have and I control. And then that led us back to Scary Movie franchise. And it was like, hey, do you guys want to be a part of it? We was like, yeah, but we don't. I want to be partners. I don't want to be talent. So let's have a partnership.
Now they're bringing the money.
I don't care about the money.
Okay.
I care about doing great product and betting that my audience is going to come see something great. And then I will get the money and success. But I'd rather be partners.
I love it. But makes the noise for that. I love that one. Create something of value. Now, a lot of the entrepreneurs in the audience, this question is about them standing up for their value. Okay. And sometimes people lower their value just to get the job, get the gig, get in and get the exposure. And I made that mistake early in 2008, 2009, and I regret it. DJ Vlad actually come on and do an interview with him. And he gave whatever the cost was, what the case be, and and you said no to him.
Yeah.
And he said, what are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. So he talked smack. And not only did he talk smack, but he talked smack publicly and to people that you do business with just because you told them no. And so can you share your thought process and why you said no and how you were really responding? Because there's no bad blood there, but how you took the higher road to appropriately respond to that type of backlash when you refused to do it.
Because I said what I said. I meant what I said. And I don't need to go to the public to get people on my side to understand this is what I feel about me for doing your show. Now, it may be free for somebody else. That may be more interesting for me. Maybe the success of that, for me, it's not about the dollar value. But if I'm going to do your show, here's the deal that I'll do it for. If that's a problem, then we should just shake hands and go, he wanted to go on every talk show and you this and you will work that. And I was just like, okay. At first, I wasn't going to respond. I was like, obviously, dude's having a bad day. But he kept going. And I said, okay, now I'm going to roast your ass on Twitter. And I roasted him and humiliated him. And then I said, and he kept going. And he said, yeah, well, your value is this. And I said, okay, cool. So just to be catty, I went and I did Shannon Sharp's show. He said I only get 300,000 views. I wound up getting, I think that's at maybe, I don't know, I got 10 million views the first week. So if you would have did the deal that I told you we should do, you'd be counting a lot of cake, but you didn't. So kudos. Now, well, Shannon was counting the cake. Now the girl was counting all that. Well, you know, I had to say something, you know. I tried to stop, you know. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, but nobody should be able to tell you what there's your value and there's your worth. And if you really think that you're worth and you stand on it. Say no. It's okay to say no to a deal. That deal may go away. Now, if sometimes bet on yourself, sometimes that upfront money, if you take upfront money, understand, well, now you have an investor and they're going to want their money to make money as they should. And if you want a lot of money up front, then you're going to get much less interest. If you really believe in what you do, bet on yourself. You could eat you some ramen for a little while longer. You don't need that. You could ride that Civic just a little while longer. Because when you hit, hey, that Bentley is right down the road. That house you've been praying on is right down the road. And you have life money that will give you check after check after check. Yeah, bet on yourself. Anytime people want to give you money up front, if they give you $1, that means they see themselves making 10. Amen. Hey, makes the noise for that. I love that. Very cool. We're going to play that music, that video. I like the way she shook her head like, yeah, church. Yeah. Your daughter was like, church, you said that. You said that. So you mentioned your movie Hymns coming out September 19th. Yeah. So it was pretty cool because I'm a football guy. You play this icon. Yeah. And this young cat comes in. Yeah. The premise of the movie, the young cat, and then you're like, yep, you want to be great? And you say, show me. Right, which is awesome. Yeah. Right. So Jordan Peele produced it. Justin Tipping directed it. Wow. But it's when you produce a movie, it goes with your brand. Yeah. And this definitely is a Jordan brand. He puts his stamp on it, and it definitely is a Jordan Peele production. And I think it's, to me, one of the best movies I'm in, and I definitely bring my best dramatic performance in this one. Yeah. I made myself proud. And I hate me usually. So I got to ask, as a Christian, as a believer, I'm watching this, the symbolism. There's a lot of satanic symbolism. Mm-hmm. So how do you, as an entertainer, as an entrepreneur, how do you that reconcile? How does that fit your brand? Is it just show? Is that something that's put out there for movies? I know you have a deep, belief in that in terms of what you stand for. I believe that the devil's everywhere. And you always have to be fighting. And it's okay to talk about these things as long as, what are you saying? What are the messages? And in this movie, it's a young man that, basically they want him to sell his soul. That's right. For success. And ultimately, he does not. And that's why I chose to do this movie, because I think there's a lot of brothers out here, and a lot of people in the industry you go into, there's always the devil. The devil be lurking. And you have to always speak to the God in you and be like, nah, I ain't going there. It's not worth it for me. If your industry don't work for me, I'm gonna become my own industry the way I do it. I'm not selling out. That's right.
I love it, man.
So
That's profound. Because if
it's a great message. I really feel like, and for me, like, as a Christian too, I just think like, I'm not afraid of speaking about these things because, the devil is everywhere. You will encounter him every day in multiple ways, and you got to always speak to the God in you and go, not going to do that.
Amen. Well, I love how you're seeing this and you're playing that role and you're standing up. Because when I first was looking at it, I was like, okay, interesting. I wanted to ask you that question. I was very curious how you answered it. I appreciate you answering it and being candid about it. When it does come to Hollywood, when it comes to success, selling your soul, etc., it's somebody looking at business deals. You look at things. What is your checklist to say, yes, this matches my brand, no, it matches my brand? Because when I asked you to come speak here, I saw Stacy over there, and when I reached out to your cab reached out to mine. Whether or not this is an appropriate event for you to be at, what would your checklist to say? This is something I want to be at. I don't want to be at it.
Oh, you said cigars and whiskey. I was like, I'm in. I got my own cigar company, Liga Tridente. Make sure you try my cigars. And I love me some whiskey. I'm going to try this prop real fast.
Easy. Done deal.
And I like what it's about. You talk about wealth and, you talk about success. And, I like those type of things that I've asked God, right? I wanted to be placed in more places like this. I'm done with the clubs. I'm done with the parties. I'm doing more golf, more cigars, more cigar bars and lounges because I'm trying to create industry. And I think the best way to do it is to really have conversation with people. I like talking to people in this area, in this vicinity, especially I ask God to surround me with people that know more than me. I want to be around more successful people than me. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to be the richest person in the room. I want to be the poorest. I want from every last rich person. How did you do that? How did you do that? How did you do that? Because otherwise you have I used to have a world of sandbags. You come from the hood. I got all my people. I'm flying, so I got to grab this one. I grab that one. I grab that one. And at a point you realize they're weighing me down. And I'm not being selfish, but I do think that you have to have you have to be a little bit selfish in order to be successful, in order to be focused. And when they're not, every now and again, keep a few sandbags around because they keep you grounded, sure. But surround yourself with helium balloons too, because helium balloons will help lift you and make your load lighter. And my family has always been helium balloons. But we always had a bunch of sandbags, and I've learned, like I said, so I just shifted my entire focus when I got 50, and I just was like, okay, I want to build industry. So everything I'm doing has to be in alignment. Every action I do has to be in alignment. Every interview I do has to be in alignment. Where am I going? Why am I going there? If not, then I'm not doing it.
I love it. I love it. On that note, Marlon, Elite, we're going to have a special cigar whiskey with him upstairs in an Elite balcony. So, by the way, Elite, can you guys raise your hands? So therefore, Marlon knows he's going to be surrounded himself with, okay, we'll be upstairs on the balcony.
If it's not Elite, I'm still in the balcony. I'm blowing air down like, don't those cigars smell good, y'all? I'm joking.
Exactly. And before you go, we have a special gift for you before you go. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. I like free stuff. Thank you.
So Bree here, thank you, Bree. Appreciate that. So this is a special acrylic humidor. It keeps the
yes, sir.
The wind. So we have a little branding in there. And
thank you, brother.
Says, thank you, Marlon.
Appreciate
Thank you, Marlon, for being at Cigars with us, Big Dog. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sure. The brother hit me on Instagram, and I sometimes I hit those, I pick up those DMs, sometimes I don't. But when y'all hit me, I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. And I'm glad we do it. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Sir, you have a great brand. You continue your brand.
Beautiful life, man. Thanks for letting us.
Thank you, brother. And thank you for this.
That being said,
thank you guys.
All right.
Always remember,
all right, we
ain't without you. Y'all, it's always the people. Always love your customers, man, because without the customers, you have no business, and we've been very blessed to have had the support of all people from various walks of life. And with my family, we don't do it for just us. We do it for the people. We want people to be happy. Y'all continue to smile, find reasons to smile because life gets dark. And you're going to need them laughs. So think like a Wayans. You'll get through.
That being said, guys, and that concludes this portion of the mastermind. The cigars are lit, the whiskey is poured. Let's network, let's mastermind, let's make some new connection. With that being said, guys, appreciate you being here, and until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, be money smart. Today, let's pour the whiskey, light the cigars, let's go.